online, on your mobile, and on digital radio. This is Rhythm 93.7 News.
You're on to Silverbest Rhythm 93.7 Pawtucket is the world news at noon. Remember that peace is priceless, terror is senseless. Let's give peace a chance. First, the highlights. Monarch condemns invasion of Bacana community by hoodlums. Rivers State Police Command intensifies search for kidnapped passengers. Sudanese president criticizes opponents for attacking him through social media. And Australia records hottest month ever. Now the details of these and other stories. I am Karina Israel.
Online, on your mobile, and on digital radio. This is Rhythm 93.7 News.
And thanks for tuning in. The King of Bacana and Chairman of Degema Council of Traditional Rulers, O.O. Odum Barboy, has condemned the invasion of the community by unidentified gunmen who cutted away over 8 speedboats in the early hours of Tuesday. King Odum Barboy, in our chat with journalists, said the attack was unprecedented as residents of the community are now living in fear. King Odum Barboy, represented by the chairman, Bacana Council of Chiefs and Traditional Rulers, Dr. Gogo Abite Iyala, called on the public with useful information on the stolen boats to report to the relevant government agencies for prompt action.
We have been periodically invaded Bacana community by unknown armed pirates and bandits who come to collect all our transportation facilities, our engines and our boats. And the last occurred on the 30th of January 2019 between the times of 2 a.m. and 3 a.m. We are now appealing to the government, relevant security agencies and the Delga Council chairman to come to our aid to provide security for this community so that our people can travel. For 2 days our people have not moved from Bacana to Port Harcourt. People they are suffering. We don't know what's happening. Just on phone calls we had a problem, they cannot move.
The Rivers State Police Command has announced the rescue of 12 passengers kidnapped by gunmen after a bus they were traveling in was hijacked. The police spokesperson in the state, Nnamdi Omoni, told our correspondent that a commercial bus was traveling from Warri to Port Harcourt when it was intercepted by hoodlums. Nnamdi Omoni said the suspected hoodlums opened fire and shot dead the driver before abducting all 14 passengers on board the commercial bus.
Yes, I can confirm the release of about 12 of those kidnapped victims. 6 of them were released yesterday, were rescued yesterday by men of the anti-kidnapping in a joint operation where they were kept. They kept in a certain bush in Umekwe. They were rescued. We were rescued or hurt. Incidentally, we got one of them fatally wounded. One of the kidnappers was fatally wounded. So it was taken to the mortuary for preservation. Then the 6 rescued victims were debriefed and then released to their respective families.
The police spokesperson in Rivers State, Nnamdi Omoni, assured that the police are doing everything possible to rescue the 2 passengers still in the custody of the hoodlums.
So far, I've been able to get 12 out. We have a bout with them, and we are working seriously to ensure that those 2 with them are released in record time. It's all hands on deck to ensure that the remaining 2 victims are rescued. Because as we speak, our men are still there, still working on those bushes. We are very sure that before close of work today, they will be out.
The first military administrator of Rivers State, King Alfred Detespiv, has advised politicians to eschew violence and embrace peace ahead of the general elections in the state. King Alfred Detespiv said this in our chat with correspondent Femi Ogunkilade in Port Harcourt. The monarch called on politicians to play politics by the rules.
Politics is a game, and even people from the same family can belong to different. They don't have to be in the same party. So I would encourage that people should follow the party of their own choice and be free to express their, right to vote. Frankly, what we want is sustainable development for the state. The state has done quite well. It's ahead of quite a number of states, but there's still room for improvement.
The National Orientation Agency is advising youths in Rivers State to resist the temptation of accepting bribes during election. The director of National Orientation Agency in Rivers State, Ayo Tamino, came out with this at the South-South Stakeholders Dialogue on Peaceful and Violent-Free Elections. Ayo Tamino claimed that incompetent and corrupt politicians are those promoting vote buying.
Two wrongs cannot make a right. If they buy your votes, you should also denominate it with the implications of buying your votes. Let me give you an example. Somebody who buys your votes for 5,000 naira, what does it come to? For 365 days times 4 years. Calculate it. It means that you are virtually worth nothing. With that calculation, it's less than 3 naira. So what are you worth? Is that what you should be doing? So it is very, very wrong. And you cannot use the fact that people are hungry to justify it.
A human rights group, Restoration Dynamics International, has condemned the sacking of the NDDC Director of Finance and Administration, Derek Mene, stressing that his removal was unconstitutional and a continued marginalization of the Ogoni ethnic group in Rivers State. The president of the New York-based Human Rights Civil Society group, Dr. Terry Bagia, said the record was to further highlight the marginalization of the Ogoni ethnic group. He therefore urged the federal government to recall Derek Mene to his position as the Director of Finance of the Commission.
What?
Bagia.
Restoration Dynamics International as a civil society organization and an organization that is solely committed to protection of human rights and that works around the world to ensure that human rights violation is minimized and, if possible, eradicated, must tell the world that we conscientiously condemn the recently purported dissolution of the NDDC board. Everybody witnessed how Ogonis have suffered from human rights violations and even the massive sacrifice of a whole generation of leaders that have never reaped from even the sweat and the fact that they have been the bulls and lazy golden eggs. It is on this note that we condemn the act.
Still to come on the news at noon. Sudanese president criticizes opponents for attacking him through social media. Australia records hottest month ever, plus other stories. Don't go away. How many insets?
The presentation of the 2018 Silverbird Man of the Year and other awards will take place on Sunday, February 3rd, 2019 from 7 p.m. at the Convention Centre, Eco Hotels and Suites, Victoria Island, Lagos. At this celebration of excellence, Ifeanyi Okowa, the Executive Governor of Delta State, will be bestowed with the prestigious Silverbird Man of the Year Award, while the Silverbird Extraordinary Personality and Special Achievement Award will be conferred on Kashim Chettinad, the Governor of Borno State. Bisi Olatilo, veteran broadcaster. Joe Dumaki, fiery woman activist. Genevieve Naji, renowned actress and filmmaker. And Omotola Jalade Akinde, veteran actress, singer and philanthropist, are up for Silverbird Lifetime Achievement Awards. Silverbird Extraordinary Achievement Awards will also be accorded Siriaka Dixon, the Governor of Bayelsa State, Chief Kessington Adebutu, and Afra Morrison Nukatu. The Silverbird Posthumous Awards will be given to former Vice President Dr. Alex Akweme, Alhaji Maitama Sule, and Dr. Ebo Ubeku. The Silverbird Heroes Award goes to men of the Nigerian Army, the police crime buster DCP Abakiari, and Housing Guards Eki Daniel and Francis Emepwaku. This exclusive event will be televised to a global audience via satellite and through terrestrial signals nationally on all Silverbird and partner stations. The blue carpet starts at 6 p.m.
Online, on your mobile, and on digital radio. This is Rhythm 93.7 News.
You're still on the news at noon from Silverbird's Rhythm 93.7 Port Harcourt. Now to the rest of the stories. The governor of Kaduna State, Nasir El-Rufai, has described the suspended Chief Justice of Nigeria, Walter Onnoghen, as a shameless judge who has demonstrated that he is no longer fit to continue in office. Governor El-Rufai told hundreds of protesters that stormed the government house in Kaduna that it was time for all Nigerians to support President Muhammadu Buhari in his fight against corruption. He said corruption in the judiciary is the worst form of corruption and no society can survive a corrupt judiciary. The president of Sudan, Omar al-Bashir, has criticized his opponents' use of social media to organize recent protests against his government. The Sudanese leader was speaking as fresh demonstrations were held in the capital, Khartoum. The protest started over cuts to bread subsidies in December but have since transformed into anger at President Bashir's rule. In the meantime, the Sudanese government says 30 people have been killed in clashes since the unrest began. The United States says it is imposing visa restrictions on Ghana for not cooperating in accepting its citizens ordered to be removed from the United States. In our statement, the U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo had ordered consular officers in Ghana to implement visa restrictions on certain categories of visa applicants. The statement said Ghana has failed to live up to its obligation under international law to accept the return of its nationals ordered to be removed from the United States. Australia recorded its hottest month ever in January, with average temperature exceeding 30 degrees Celsius for the first time. At least 5 January days were among the 10 warmest on record, with daily national temperature highs of 40 degrees Celsius. The new record surpasses conditions recorded in 2013, previously considered the nation's worst heat wave. In entertainment, a group known as Naisim Award has mapped out plans to ensure that beauty queens in River State are equipped with the right knowledge, whether academical or social. The founder of Naisim Award, Femi Kamoru, popularly called Femi K, made this known at a press briefing in Port Harcourt. He said one of the plans put in place to establish more brands, such as Face of Naisim, under the umbrella of Naisim Awards. He further said the Naisim Award deemed it necessary to recognize some beauty queens who have made efforts in supporting and doing some charity projects in the society.
This year we intend to much higher by establishing more brands under the umbrella of Naisim Awards. They are as follows. We have Face of Naisim, we have Naisim TV, and Naisim Film Innovation. It is actually a standard beauty talent organization that will give Naisim an identity. We want to have our own set of queens and as well treat them the way they ought to be treated as beauty queens that they are. So we're making plans on how we can make all this possible. These beauty queens are going to be brand ambassadors of the organization called Naisim.
On her part, the national coordinator of Face of Naisim, Faithful Kennedy, said Face of Naisim will not just give awards to beauty queens to ensure they are well groomed, but to make them more competitive.
Naisim Awards have been ongoing for the past 3 years, and what we do is recognize beauty queens in Nigeria for their hard work and their commitment to their craft. So other than just give out awards to these beauty queens, we decided to have our own queens that will train up to standard, and they will head Face of Naisim. We have some services that we send offering. One, organizing of beauty pageants, organizing of award shows, organizing of catwalk, consultancy, advisory services, and training. We want to bring out beauty queens that will represent Port Harcourt, represent in Nigeria and outside Nigeria.
And just before we go, another look at the highlights of the major stories. The king of Bakana has condemned the invasion of his community by hoodlums. And we also brought to you a report that the River State Police Command has intensified its search for 2 remaining kidnapped passengers. And that's the news. It came to you from Silverbirds Rhythm 93.7 Port Harcourt. It was edited by Clem of Woko and produced by Sami Ebini. I am Karina Israel. For comments, email to newsph937@yahoo.com or call 081 7122 9164, or also follow up on Twitter at Rhythms News. Remember that peace is priceless, terror is senseless. Let's give peace a chance. Good afternoon. Identify.